Welcome everybody. Welcome back to Homestead Heart. And in today's video, I am going to actually do several videos. While we got to break in the work in the house, I'm going to try to get several videos done. It's very difficult to film inside right now, you all, because it's just so loud. But I'm going to do several videos, and one is going to be the video to answer your questions from yesterday's video, where we talked about what we did to get our chickens to start laying eggs again after 3 months of not one single egg, right? So you all, in that video, we mentioned to you all that we stopped feeding them the Purina brand feeds, which was the Do More and the Producer's Pride. We stopped feeding them that altogether. And you know, I told you all about this saying that my great-grandfather used to say, and my grandmother used to always say it. You know, when it comes to chickens, you know, the way you clean them out is you give them corn. That corn will clean them out. That's what he said. We took that advice from my great-grandfather, who had a several hundred-acre farm, okay? So he was not a small farmer. He farmed quite a lot, all right? And he had all kinds of livestock. He had chickens, and he had horses. He had cows. He had a whole lot of everything on his farm, okay? And one of the things he used to say was that corn will clean them out. It'll clean them out. And so we did that with our chickens. Scoot up. There we go. So that's what we did. We fed our chickens the cracked corn for about 3 days. And then afterwards, Mr. H gave them some of that new feed that we purchased from a local feed store. And then afterwards, we started giving them navy beans. Now, your questions was, why would you give them navy beans? That's expensive. Or, Mrs. H, did you give them the navy beans just raw, hard beans, or did you pre-soak them and then give them the bean, or did you cook them and then give them the bean? So let me tell you, interesting story. Mr. H was given some navy beans a long time ago, all right? He was given some. And when he was given the bag of beans, I'm like, oh, wow, that's awesome. I'll just can them up, okay? And that's what I did. I pre-soaked them, all right? I pre-soaked them without cooking them. I just washed them and pre-soaked them. And then I put them in jars and I canned them. And I've done it that way for many years with navy beans, right? Because after pressure canning them for 90 minutes in a jar, they will cook, okay? They will cook. So that's what I did. However, when we opened up one of the jars, those beans, although they were cooked, they were still hard. So the beans that he was given were very old beans. And remember, we talked to you all before about when you get navy beans or any kind of beans, it's important that you store them properly, because if you don't, they'll go hard on you. And remember, I said, ask me how I know. So I'm going to show you this. These were the beans right here. I never could bring myself to throw these beans away. I always say it. They're going to come in handy for something. We just can't get rid of them. They're going to come in handy for something. And they were canned in 2017. Almost 6 years ago. We wasn't even living here when I canned these beans. Okay? So we could not eat them. As you could see, if you look at them, you could see they still hold their shape, just as though they had never been canned or cooked. And when you open them, you know, you can't, like if you cook regular beans and how you could just take the beans and squish it in your hands, you can't do that with these. They will not squish. They might press lightly, but they not go squish, because the beans were just too old and literally became inedible for us, right? They were not pleasant to try to eat. We tried. We couldn't do it. So, as fate would have it, when it came down to our chickens not laying eggs and we needed a solution, we had our beans that were canned in 2017. These were all the jars, like I said, with the exception, you know, not these, you know, this the jam jars. But these quarts and pints were all those beans. And we started giving it to them. And these are our last 3 quarts right here. And we will be giving these 3 quarts to them. Well, actually, I don't know. Because now that we've switched the feed and we've given them all these navy beans, they're doing good. So I'm wondering if I should keep these as an emergency supply for the chickens, just in case, right? Because I'm telling you, right after we started feeding them these navy beans, we started getting eggs. I mean, the very next day after giving them these navy beans, these chickens started laying again. We wasn't getting 3 dozen. We probably got like 4 or 5. And then the next day we had a couple of more, and then so forth and so on. And we are, I think, 3 weeks and a day up from today. We're getting right at 3 dozen eggs every day now, which is what we should have been getting, you know, from the start, with the exception of when they go through that molting phase or when they slow down in the winter. Some people say, well, you know, chickens will slow down once it get cold. We haven't had a winter here. We had those 3 or 4 days. Are they back? We had that 3 or 4 days where we had freezing temperatures. And after that, y'all, the winter here hasn't been nothing to talk about at all. Okay. It literally hasn't been that kind of winter at all. So our chickens still would continue in the freezing temperatures. Over the years, we were still getting some eggs. It probably wasn't dozens and dozens, but we would still get like 5 or 6 eggs every single day, you know, except for when they would molt. But otherwise, we would still get 5 or 6 eggs every day. We've never gone, there was never a time here on our homestead where all of our chickens, ducks included, completely shut down, including the quail, completely shut down, didn't lay 1 single egg. And of course, I became very concerned. I hope that our chickens haven't been sterilized by using that feed, right? That was a big concern for me. But that's what we did. That's what we did. We gave them, after Mr. H gave them that feed that initial day, because I had to remind them, remember we said we was just going to give them navy beans. And so afterwards, we started giving them the beans, and we were feeding them navy beans every day until we ran out of this. And this is what we had left. And we were doing about 5 or 6 quarts a day. And then you all know, like I said, now I'm down to my last 3 jars here, carrots and all, everything that was in here, carrots, celery, bell pepper, onion, everything that's garlic, everything that's in this jar with these beans. This is what our chickens were eating. And y'all, they're laying again. It worked. It worked. So I don't know. I may hold on to these jars, or if I feed it to them, I may do it again. You know, I may do it again. I just may pressure can up a ton of beans and just put them to the side just in case, because you never know, right? And to tell you the truth, you all, when you think about canning a pound of beans really isn't a pound of beans once you cook it, right? They do expand in size, so you're literally almost like doubling the amount that you have cooked. So am I going to be buying navy beans specifically to feed our chickens? Probably not. You know, probably not. But will I keep them in mind when I am canning for emergency situations? Yes, I will. And I'm just very glad that it was just really deeply embedded in my spirit. don't get rid of these beans. You will need them. You may very well need these beans in the future for whatever reason. And I did not know it was going to be for the chickens. But lo and behold, it was. And yes. Yeah. They loved them. And yes, it really worked. The ducks loved them. All of them loved them. They were just, you know, of course they're going to eat anything, but they loved them. And they ate them all. And that's all we fed them. Yeah. That's it. So y'all, I hope I answered your questions about that. Because we did get quite a few of them. No, we don't ever do raw beans when it comes to feeding the animals. You know, I just don't think that'll be good for them, to tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're like crushing it up into some type of a powder or something. I don't know. But in truth, I would just cook them. I would just cook them and then give it to them if you're still having that problem. But just sharing, that's what worked for us. That's what worked for us, you all. And so many of you said you tried the pinto beans and it worked for y'all. That's what I'm talking about. Getting creative with this feed. Now, some of you may want to mix your feed and all of that. You know, you do what you feel is best. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's your homestead. You do whatever you feel is best, and you do what your dollars can afford, right? So for us, we're going to continue to feed them feed from our local feed shop, but keeping in mind these navy beans, they made the world of difference for our birds. Yes, they did. All right. So y'all, that's going to do it for this video. If you haven't done so, oh, thank y'all so much. I just want to say real quick, thank y'all so much for everyone who has sent us things in the mail. We have been real slow about going by the post office, you know, just because we've had so much going on here. You know, I want to just say thank you to everybody. Mrs. C, I did open the envelopes. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you, Mrs. C. And Dee Dee, just everybody who has sent us stuff in the mail. Who is it? Who is that? Dana. I believe Dana from Virginia. I be trying to remember this stuff. Dana, thank you so much. You know what I'm talking about. Thank everybody so much who always thinks about us. We really appreciate you. All of the cards and, oh, and the pictures I got when you were on vacation. Actually, from 2 different people, but this one individual with her husband and her son, she's always shares pictures with us when they travel and do different things. Just a beautiful family. Thank y'all so very much for always thinking about us with cards and pictures and all of that. We really appreciate it. All right, you all. But y'all, that is going to do it for this video. I'm just making sure I ain't forgetting nothing else, because I'm really just grateful for like all of the things that y'all think about when y'all think about us. I'm just really appreciative for that. Oh, I am forgetting something. And Bud, Bud is so appreciative too. He has the cutest little doggy ball that I absolutely love, because now he just can't snatch the ball from me and run when I be trying to play with him. He has to really try to work to pick up this big old ball, right? So I can literally get to him before he take off and be crossing me over like we playing basketball, hurting my ankles. But y'all, he loves all his little doggy toys. So thank y'all to everybody who be thinking about us and Bud, all of it. Thank y'all so very much. So y'all, that's going to do it for this video. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss videos that we upload to our channel. And thank y'all again for watching Homestead Heart. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. And I'm going to see y'all in the next video.